I was born Janae Rochelle Dixon, but now I go by Ryck Jane, RYCKJANE.
Like, check 1 2 1 2. 3 words to describe Ryck Jane. I would have to say bold, soulful, and vibey. I grew up in South Central LA. I'm not a transplant. Some people who see me and they meet me, they're like, are you from New York? I'm like, no, I'm from LA. Born and raised off of Florence and Western, and eventually moved to Hawthorne later on when I got to high school. I'm LA all day, baby. But I'm a huge fan of East Coast music. I grew up listening to Jay-Z and Biggie and Lauryn Hill.
To begin, how you think you really gonna pretend? Like you wasn't down, but you called and began to press with. You give it up so easy, you ain't even pulled it in.
I grew up in a 2-parent household. I had my pops and my moms there. It felt like I was the only child because my brother, who was 11 years older than me, really wasn't at home when I was growing up.
It was all in her at the beginning. All of us noticed it right away. There was something about this child and music. Whenever a song came on, she would instantly start singing lyrics right on key. This was as a toddler.
She has an ear for music. When we were in church, she would be singing the hymns and knew the words of the hymns at 5 and 6.
My mother was an RN. My dad was a grocery manager. They taught me about hard work. I am forever grateful to have both parents in my household. The first memory I have of music having an impact in my life is I had to be like 6 or 7. My mom forced me to take piano lessons. Like, I'm gonna make you take piano lessons. She wanted to take piano lessons when she was a child and her mom couldn't afford it. So she was like, I can afford it now, so I'm gonna make you take piano lessons. I was so pissed. I actually took them with my aunt and she would like play a song. We would have the sheet music in front. She would play a song and she's like, okay, play it back. Read the music and play it back. I ended up just remembering what she played. And then that's when I realized like, oh snap, like I have an ear. It's crazy because you don't really know, like when you're a child, who influences you. It wasn't until later on when I was an adult, I realized like, man, my grandfather really did pave the way as far as me going towards music. He was a part of a group called the Four Knights in the 1950s. They sold over 1 million copies of just one song called Oh Baby Mine. Just to know that, it's like, man, I'm actually out here trying to do the same thing. I grew up in a really religious family. All my family is Christian, and I really had to think about like, man, do I want to cuss on my songs? Will they be okay with it? I knew that was like something that I had to think about when I decided to become a solo artist. Do I want to hide certain things? I'm like, man, I have to be realistic. This is who I am. Like, I cuss. Like, fuck that.
She does quite well in her music because she loves music. Self-reliance, self-independence, that's who she was and that's who she is.
And you know, the rest is history. She's become very successful and we are proud to have her as our daughter.
Growing up, I went to a Christian school from preschool to 7th grade. And then I came to Washington Prep. That was high school for me, and it was honestly one of the best 4 years of my life. I'm so glad my parents allowed me to get out of the private sector, come to a public school, and I really had the chance to shine. I was a ball player, man. Like, I love basketball.
She used to carry a basketball with her every single day, everywhere she went. And she was the girl who was always like, come on, let's go, let's get it.
I'm leaving basketball practice and I'm walking and I see the marching band at Washington looking straight and just so hard. And I was like, damn, like, what is this? Man, I want to be a part of that. So I was trying to play basketball and be a part of the band at the same time. And my band teacher, Fernando Pullum, he's like, yo, like, you have to choose one. So I chose the band. I randomly selected the trumpet. I have no reason as to why I chose the trumpet, but I said, you know what, let me just play that. And I just worked on it every day. I remember getting kicked out of class for talking so much. And I went into the hallway and I had my horn and I just started practicing playing C major. Like, man, I'm gonna get this shit down.
I knew in high school that Janae was destined for greatness. During lunchtime, everybody else was chilling, hanging out on the quad, and Janae was practicing faithfully. She always had her instrument with her.
And my band teacher, he realized it. Like, he had me come up in front of the classroom, and he's like, okay, play the song. And I sucked. People joke about it to this day, like, dude, you sounded horrible. But my band teacher understood the hard work that I put into it, and he heard the difference.
I had the honor and pleasure of teaching Janae when she was in high school. She was one of my favorite and best students, and highly intelligent.
I mean, we rehearsed every single day, and then we would have practice after practice. He really drilled it in us to be the best. I'm so grateful that I joined the band in high school. I eventually ended up linking with my bandmates. They were starting a separate band called the Wild Bunch. This is like a hip hop alternative band, and they were looking for horn players. I'm like, I would love to be a part of it. And we were like a 16-piece full band. So think Outkast meets Earth, Wind & Fire, meets Linkin Park. You know what I mean? We did rock, we did soul, we did funk.
I thought it would be dope to get her on a song, so we wrote a verse for her for the song Girls Like. It was like a fan favorite whenever we did it on tour, whenever we did it live, like people loved it. And we was like, yo, we gotta incorporate this more.
Don't stop till we knock the bottom out of the floor. Front to the rear. We gon' make one thing real clear. To all my people getting down right here. We gon' party like this all year.
And as we started recording more albums, she started to be like, well, you know, I can write it myself. And then that's when we found out the talent and the gift that she had for writing and making songs.
Janie's what it is. I tip top drop versus covering that bin. Straight to the point, shoot straight from the hip. Here's a show me cause then you just talking. Oh.
After high school, we continued on, and really being a part of Wild Bunch is the reason why I continued to play the trumpet and I picked up rapping. I remember just being on stage with the band and being the only female, playing my horn. And then when my song would come out, I would just put my horn down and go out and just rap my verse, and people would just go crazy. And that's when I realized, like, man, I can do this. That's where I learned my stage presence. We were on tour with The Roots and NERD. We actually opened up for the Beastie Boys, the Black Eyed Peas as well. We ended up being signed to Sony Records. I had a really great experience with the Wild Bunch. I've had so many opportunities with this thing right here. I got to perform with Beyonce at Super Bowl 50, Beyonce at Coachella. I got to perform with her on the Grammys.
Oh, I knew where I was going when I left her.
I'm officially the trumpet player for the Los Angeles Chargers. Every home game, you can see me at SoFi, playing this thing right here. And I've had the chance to perform with so many other artists, and the list just goes on and on and on. I'm thankful, man.
Will you stop it? What are you doing? What are you doing? Well, it's not time for you. Wait till...
So, like, most people will probably say, like, oh, I'm sure your most proudest moment is performing with Beyonce. I'm very thankful for that opportunity, dead ass. But my proudest moment for me personally was when I produced my own album. I did every song on the album. I played trumpet on it, and it was called Ryck Jane's Beats, Loops, and Vibes. And people actually supported me. They went on Bandcamp, and they actually bought my music. And I made a nice chunk of money off that. I'm just thankful I have the support, because I know I couldn't have gotten that just by streams alone. You know what I mean? So people actually going to Bandcamp and buying my music, I'm proud of that, like, for real.
You can never steal my joy. I'm flying high, baby, baby, yeah, I make that noise.
And it allowed me to invest into more music videos and just my music journey in general. One thing people don't know about me is Ricky got a 9-to-5, okay? I work a real-ass job because I'm not trying to be broke out here.
Beat on the low, yo. Try to get more, try to get more. I just want to get this cash. Ain't going broke.
People who know me know, like, I'm really chill. I'm laid back. I'm actually an introvert. But on stage, I have this whole nother aura or like an alter ego that just shows up. And I perform my ass off. I really like to give people a show, and I entertain. And I like to have fun on stage, you know? That's just who I am. I'm so ready to release my EP, Jane Got a Gun. Jane Got a Gun represents my trumpet and the microphone. Now is the time to release it to the world. So we got 6 songs on the EP, and one of the first songs I released a few years ago called You Already Know. I wrote You Already Know in like 30 minutes. Already on, already gone. It was probably one of the quickest songs I've ever written. I'm already on, already gone. See, I'm already blow. I've been doing this for a long time, and a lot of people just don't know that. So You Already Know just is a reflection of my experience as an artist and already been on. You know what I mean?
I will ride for you, ride for you, ride for you. I'ma have your back. Where they at? They gon' see.
Ride or Die is another record on this EP. To me, it's like a true West Coast record. I really tapped into my loved ones and my ride or dies and the people that I really cherish in my life. There was one person specifically who I was thinking about, and that's my partner. That's my babe, my best friend, my producer, my engineer, and that's Ishmael Ferguson. Like, the song is really about his impact in my life. It's so instrumental, and there would be no Ryck Jane without Ishmael Ferguson. Another song that's gonna be on the EP is a song I released called Bitter. I realized that Bitter was dope when I performed it before it was released. The crowd's face was like something I've never seen before. And afterwards, so many people came up to me like, yo, Bitter? They were like, your show was dope, but Bitter? I'm not what you thought, ain't what you think. I am much broader than what people think. My next song that I'm gonna release from the EP is called You Gonna Learn Today. And this song just basically talks about what you don't know about me. I am a queen. I demand respect. Do not box me in. And this is what I'm about. I've been doing this shit as a solo artist for 10 years, okay? I want people to remember me for my music, good vibes, and love. I don't plan to have any kids, so I'm leaving behind my music as my legacy. And when I'm gone, I want people to remember my name.
Ain't no comparison, I know I'm better than my phone, more prevalent, now that they reach. Gotta compete, so gifted, I'm different, I'm tripping, I'm chilling, I'm sipping, I'm living my best life. I hear I'm ripping, I'm living, I'm spitting, I'm drilling, I'm killing it damn right. Just know that I'm vicious, I'm ripping, I'm whipping, winning, pushing limits, I'm damn nice. Be about business, I do this shit.